I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach. Welcome to Improve Your Relationships, where I like to talk about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. And on this video, let's talk about protest behavior and some very specific ways that protest behavior shows up. Very simplistically, what is protest behavior? It means our needs are not getting met. We are frustrated. We are upset. We have tried plan A, plan B, plan C. We have tried this approach, that approach, and we are not communicating successfully. We are not getting our emotional needs met. We are not getting our relational needs met. We're not getting our needs for proximity met. Sometimes it could mean that we're not having our sexual advances acknowledged, or our sexual needs are not getting met. And over time, after we've tried plan A, plan B, approach, let's take this approach, let's take this other approach, usually what happens is that we reach a breaking point, and it's that breaking point, meaning the threshold where we can't tolerate it anymore, and we've reached the end of our rope. We are so frustrated, we just do not know how we are going to be able to get the level of emotional participation and reciprocation and attunement that we so much want and that we thought we were working towards, and it feels like it's being denied. We are being denied connection. It's not happening. And usually this can release fear, and this releases our adrenaline, and this makes us feel very hyper alert around something is wrong, something is not going well here, that I'm being denied connection, emotional connection, and we perceive it that our partner's withholding, and perhaps the partner is. Also sometimes we are organizing our perception of the experience that we're somehow being treated this way, and in fact it might not be that we are collecting evidence to prove that our partner's withholding, but in a way it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that what we're simultaneously doing is pushing the partner away through the demand of saying that we want more connection. So the moment we reach our breaking point and we cross that threshold, many of us resort to more immature behaviors or more primal, lower consciousness behaviors of our basic needs of protesting. And that could look like, that very much could look like stomping your feet and slamming a car door and crossing your arms and putting out your lower lip because you're pouting. Some adults, grown people are in relationships where they sit on the couch and they pout with each other, and they will spend the evening pouting. What we're looking at is what's underneath the protest behavior is feeling so shut down and hurt. And it's the inability to acknowledge how painful it is to not have one's attachment needs met. And that if we have some history of an attachment trauma that is unintegrated and still needs attention, that what happens is that it's triggering and activating this history of how our emotional needs have not been met in our life and in our family. And in that moment, when we're sitting on the couch pouting, or we're slamming the refrigerator door, which actually in this moment I think about doesn't make, because of the suction on the refrigerator door, it doesn't make a really good slamming noise. So it's better, to like slam cupboard doors in the kitchen. That's a little, or people will in the kitchen will throw their plates and bowls into the sink, so it makes a loud noise. Because we want to communicate, I'm protesting, I'm not getting my needs met. So this also can operate on a bit more sophisticated level, that you might be able to curb and control slamming a kitchen door, sitting on the cupboard door or sitting in the couch in the living room pouting, you might not be stomping up and down the way that we often do in our younger years. So we've developed a bit more sophisticated ways where we're still protesting, we're just doing it in other forms. And that's the point of this video, is to acknowledge some other forms. One form of protest behavior is to have an acerbic tongue, a cutting tongue, a tongue that has a sword. And it's going to be a very direct ability to say hurtful, direct things that are disguised as truth or maybe are rooted in truth. But what's underneath is not truly in alignment with wanting to offer honest communication. The reason why this level of truthful disclosure is being offered is because underneath it, we are making a demand for attention. We're making a demand to have our attachment needs met. And so this year we will have a partner, and perhaps this is you, perhaps you could recognize this in yourself, but partners who will say that they see the truth and they see the dynamic and they see what's going on in their partner. And it's really important to point out to the partner how the partner is failing them. And it's important to speak, and I'm putting this in quotes, this idea, speak the truth. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to mince my words. I'm not going to tap dance around the situation. I'm going to go right in and I'm going to point out how, I want you to know that you're doing this and you're doing this thing, and it's really denying connection and it's going against relationship. And I think that you need to look at that. And then usually what happens is we're so committed to attempting, the protest behavior. What's driving the protest behavior is I really need to connect with my partner. I have this unworkable fear of feeling the distance and the separation and the disconnect. I have this uncontrollable fear around the distress of the fact that we are not as bonded or close or connected as I need, or as my nervous system needs, or my expectation of what I thought, was going to happen in this relationship, or it could be circumstantial, what I thought was going to happen this evening. I had the expectation. It's like getting invited. Let's say your partner invites you to dinner, and you immediately have this expectation that you're having a romantic dinner, and it's going to be just the two of you, and you feel that's so wonderful. And then your partner walks through the door and has invited two other people from work, and everyone shows up. And the moment that you're there, you can just feel how it feels very different. The whole vibe of the evening has now changed. And so for that evening, your attachment needs, managing that disappointment, that's about, oftentimes if we cannot manage that, then it's activating this more immature part of ourselves, which is linking to our attachment injuries or attachment trauma. And if we cannot get our needs met in that moment, we might resort to protest behavior. So one thing that we could do is we're going to speak our truth, and we're going to call it speaking our truth. But in fact, what we're doing is we're telling our partner that he or she is inadequate. And so we're belittling the trust and safety that we've already created. We're belittling, I shouldn't say belittling the trust and safety. What I mean is we're eroding the trust and safety through belittling our partner. But it's going to be a very confusing moment for the partner, because he or she's going to be receiving negative feedback about their character, about how they are failing you, and how they have failed to have the sensitivity to participate in the dinner and to show up at the dinner alone. And how is it possible that they could not read your mind and know how much you were investing in this romantic dinner, but the fact that he or she showed up with these coworkers and everyone's arrived, and he or she, your partner has ruined the evening. And now it's your job, you're going to offer the truth in the spirit of communicating how hurtful that was to you. But it's going to be communicated in such a way that the partner needs to acknowledge that he or she failed, and that usually if this goes on over time, we do it in such a way, you're communicating this in such a way that you're letting the partner know not only did he or she miss the moment or misunderstanding the dynamic of going to dinner, but in fact their ability to pick up on these dynamics is really, really lacking. And for a partner who is perhaps insecure, has an insecure attachment style already, hearing this feedback is not going to do what you hope that it would do, which is to get your attachment needs met and create more proximity, create more closeness, create more emotional openness. Chances are what you're successfully doing is you're indirectly belittling your partner, and you're planting the seeds that you're judging your partner, and then now your partner feels inadequate. And so that's not going to endear your partner to want to spend more time with you. That's not going to endear your partner to want to have romantic dinners with you. And it's very possible the partner even invited the coworkers because he or she already sensed that he would fail before he or she would fail before walking through the door of the restaurant. And so sometimes a partner who's on the receiving end of being told that they're inadequate and falling short will do things like this as a kind of buffer to protect themselves from more negativity and from more being judged. So this is one aspect of protest behavior, and it has to do with not what's driving it. You're unable to manage your own discomfort, and you're projecting out onto the future, onto the partner, how he or she must change in order for you to feel better. And underneath it is this great, great fear that you're losing your partner, and you can't manage the fear of the disconnect and the distance. What would be very helpful, the corrective experience here, the skill that you need to lead from, is to know that you're not putting the onus and responsibility on your partner, but you are able to still stay honest with yourself about your own fear, and that you're able to catch yourself before you engage in some protest behavior, and that you could communicate that and say, well, I'm feeling like I really want to shut down here. I'm feeling like I want to slam cupboard doors. I'm feeling like I want to get hooked into telling you how you're failing me and how you have a problem to deliver the emotional connection that I'm asking for. And if we can catch ourselves before engaging in the protest behavior, it is going to open us up to working with what feels unworkable, to working that level of vulnerability that is just so painful in that place where we feel that our needs are not getting met, or in fact they aren't getting met. So hopefully that this is helpful to raise consciousness, to observe how our very own protest behavior exaggerates and continues to make things worse as far as distancing, undermining trust and safety, and it doesn't help with relationship repair. I hope that this video was helpful. If you like this video and would like to get more just like it, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And also, I'm creating a new membership community site. It is called Improve Your Relationships. It's for like-minded people just like you, topics such as this. It's going to be a smaller community of community members talking about these ideas and exploring how different stories and different applications and different resources of these types of ideas. If this interests you, please go to my website, go to the community page, and you'll be able to get on a wait list or get on the launch list, and I will send you an email when the doors are open to that community and you can join. Thank you so much for listening. There's more to come.